Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of When Artists Speak. I am your host, Stacy, and yes, I am here again with another amazing artist. His name is Jalen. I absolutely adore Jalen. I met Jalen, you guessed it, through the BASE organization at VCU. As you all are aware, we have interviewed several artists from that organization, which should tell you something that the organization was filled with amazing, amazing talent. And so I am not going to stay before you long. I'm going to allow Jalen an opportunity to introduce himself, but I do want you to stay tuned and keep your ears close because we're going to get into it today. So, Jalen, the floor is yours.
Hello, I'm Jalen Harris. I'm a illustrator, graphic designer, multimedia artist, based in Richmond, Virginia. And I just recently graduated, so
Congratulations, congratulations. Oh boy.
thank you.
Level 1.1 of adulting. You will soon find how overrated it truly is.
I've been getting introduced to it a little bit. It's not.
The real introduction comes when you get your tax bill. That's when you realize that you are no longer under the coverage of your parents anymore. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate you taking time out. I know you're busy, with just graduating and trying to figure out what your next steps are looking like and just trying to get acclimated back into the groove of things. I get it. But I do appreciate you for being a part of this. This vision came from, when I had an opportunity to kind of meet with you all and, purchase some of your art and listen to some of you about the stories that you told about the type of artwork that you do when Base had their Artist Alley event back in December of 2022. So like I told Sydney, I wanted to interview all of you, right? But I especially wanted to interview you because when I asked you about your art, when I asked you about your work, I think it was the confidence in the way that you talked about it and the way that you presented it. And I was like, I'd like to hear more about that. So I want to give you an opportunity to just kind of talk about, your art, how you came to like what inspired your journey? Was it something like you just kind of started out as a hobby or something to kind of keep you calm and then all of a sudden you realize, hey, this is something I think I want to expound on. How did you come to get into this world of art?
I would say it's overall like a theme of growth and progress because I've liked art since I was a child. Um, and in elementary school, I can't remember what grade exactly, but we had to like kind of do kind of like the job searching to
Mhm.
kind of just be like, okay, like what jobs do you think about doing? And one of the jobs I wanted to do immediately, I searched up was just like artist, and then the first thing that popped up was just like graphic design. And I was kind of searching through that. And always had a really fun time in art. It was like something I paid attention to. It was just like art and reading. That was it. Anything else didn't really like math. I wasn't particularly good at. I was pretty good at sports, but like art was just something I was kind of just really interested in. We did like kind of made clay. We used clay to make little animals, and I made a frog, and I believe I still have it. My mom still has it downstairs. Um, so just through elementary school, I really like doing art. But when you say you want to be an artist, it's kind of there's kind of this weird dissonance, if there's a
Absolutely.
way, or just really awkwardness because people are just like, oh, like pick something else.
How do
Um,
you live? Yeah.
yeah, just like how will you live? The teachers try to be like, oh, like maybe do something else because they weren't trying to be like discouraging, but it kind of came off that way. And so I continued doing it into middle school. Um, and then I stopped doing art around high school, like freshman and sophomore year. I was just it was just kind of getting difficult to do it in a way after just kind of years of just being like, oh, like will art be successful? Will it be successful? My dad grew up in Kansas and he was relatively like poor, but now he's like in a better financial situation. So that has always been on my mind since like younger, just hearing those stories and just wanting to make more income for my family in a way. So just art, just that connection, but it was something I was already passionate about. Um, and then my junior year, I did the tech center. I just applied to it. I learned about it and I just applied, and I was we had to kind of write a statement, and I was really determined to get in there. Um, and then I got in. So then I kind of just revigorated my like growth process.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I got up until this point of like what base. Base was just another um kind of just like taking a shot at something that I wasn't really too sure about because it was COVID and I was kind of bored. I was a transfer student from John Tyler, which is now called Brightpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so transferring over during COVID, where I'm just having remote classes and I'm not really interacting with people or I don't really know anyone, um, I just decided to join base, and then that kind of just changed my like um, experience entirely with VCU.
Okay. So here's what I think about what you said earlier. Like, we typically, and when I say we, I'm meaning myself now, being sort of that older generation, we typically would get you in this mindset of, STEM, like everybody's pushing STEM. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, because I work in IT. I'm a software applications analyst. However, I feel like art gets slighted because I think people limit it based on what they know. So when you say artist, the first thing somebody's thinking is, "Oh, you're going to paint pictures for the rest of your life." No, there's so many different forms and facets of art,
Right.
and I feel like I think that's why I can appreciate these conversations that I've been having with you all, because you're tapping into that, you're kind of breaking that stereotype that says, oh, you're going to be a starving artist. No, you can use all components of your intelligence to really make it work for you, right? You can have your traditional art pieces in a residency of a art exhibition somewhere. You can enter pieces into these things, but then you can also do, like, I've learned a lot about commissions with Sydney's journey as an artist, right? And then all of the different types of artistry, and even implementing that artistry into technology, right? Learning how to, working with somebody who loves code, because there are people who absolutely love code. I don't, those people are special people. I don't, but you can work with somebody who really is into that whole code thing, and they can take your work and you can partner together. And there's so many different ways. And so I'm glad that you're allowing yourself to kind of step outside of that comfort zone narrative that the older generations, we just want to be okay. You want to make sure you can reach
Right.
in the bank and pay your bills, and you can do that, and at the same time cultivate your creativity, because I think that's where this, today, I think that's where we're all kind of stuck, because social media can create these virtual realities which really can prevent you from really tapping into your originality, which is why there's so many reboots. Reboot this, reboot that. And I'm like, nah, tap into your creativity and put something new out there. So I can appreciate that approach. And I also understand hesitation. It's because of the way things are shaped and we're told. But if you look at your creative nature as a means of, like, you can yield fruit from your creative gifts, it would probably take that taboo away from somebody saying, hey, I want to go and pursue secondary education to get certified or to get, degreed in an art form. I think that's great. I think that's great. So, graduation. You said you graduated. Huh.
Yes.
So, after graduation, what are you focusing on right now? I know you kind of need that reprieve from all those years of school, but what's kind of what's your process looking like post graduation?
Right now, I'm kind of just focusing on kind of myself in a way. I've been journaling a lot and writing a lot of just trying to figure out what I want to do. Um, I want to I want to be able to kind of make the artwork um that I want while also supporting myself in a way. I
Mm-hmm.
have done a gallery before, as you kind of like talked about, of just kind of having your artwork in different places. I've had a gallery before, um, that was really fun. I do a lot of like graphic design work. I do a lot of paintings, and right now I'm just trying to figure out how to kind of bring it all together. So one job I'm looking into or what I want to be an art director and just do art direction.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking to doing that for like commercials, um, is somebody with like brand identity, um, and other just kind of just figuring out what to do with that in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so right now I'm working on a just a painting right now, but I've been working on just graphic design pieces. I've been working on kind of messing around with different ways to just different artworks, and just kind of I'm messing around with like plaster and other things. I'm just trying different things right now during the summer while just working my job, and just in my free time just painting and working on art. So
Oh,
it's
that's
just
good.
all over the place. I'm just it's been really fun. I've also just been trying to apply to new jobs, so that's been really fun too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Stressful but fun, but
Well, I'll say this. I'll say pace yourself. And I think you're doing a really good job of pacing yourself, right? Because it can get so overwhelming. And tap into things that are a little bit outside of your comfort zone, but stretch you in the right direction, right? Like I haven't told her this, but she's probably gonna see it when she watches the episode. Sydney would be a great TED talk. She would do a great TED talk kind of thing with her artwork, right? And I could
Mhm.
kind of see you doing the same. I'm telling you, I could see this trifecta. I could see you, Sydney, and Zari doing this TED talk team thing, tag team thing. And the TED, like when people hear about TED talk, they immediately just zone out, like, what the heck? Because most
I
of the
love
TED
TED
talks,
Talks.
I do too. Okay, well, see,
Yeah.
get somewhere in the corner and sit down and you really get involved. But I don't think that people understand that you can use your, the core competencies of yourself to do a TED talk. Like I wouldn't do a TED talk about software applications. I wouldn't. But I would do a TED talk about, poetry from the Black female perspective, because it's a real thing. Because, as you know, in all sects of creativity, there are these, I don't want to use that word, but I'm gonna use it, departments. And
Mhm.
and so in poetry, where most people thinks it's just this fluid art and everybody just comes in and we're kumbaya and we're just doing our stanzas and sonnets and all of the things, and no, you can be classified, and that's why it's so important to find a community. So I feel like a TED talk of you all, because all three of you that I mentioned have your artists, but you are artists of distinction. You have a distinct thing. Sydney is distinct. Zari is distinct. All of the other artists, Layla and Jason, and all of the other artists that we've interviewed are all distinct. And I just think tap into those areas that most people wouldn't even expect to hear about artistry. So this is just a recommendation for consideration. Look into your local TED Talk, communities, because I know you have to kind of be invited into it, but kind of tap in, listen, and see. Because I'm telling you, it will blow my mind if I look on that screen and see you standing up there talking about this, that, and the third. But I think it's great that you are taking that approach. Like I said, one thing I can appreciate is, you know, that it's okay that you don't know, but you're at least taking the steps to know, right?
Right.
So I want to give the people an opportunity, the people that are actually viewing from YouTube. I want to give them an opportunity to kind of get a glimpse into, your artwork. As I mentioned, I had the opportunity of being able to purchase a couple of your pieces when I came to that Artist Alley event, and so I'll give you a chance to kind of let the people know how they can purchase work from you if you're open for commissions and things like that a little bit toward the end. So I'm going to go ahead and share screen to share your portfolio page. And then I'm
Okay.
going to put a ticker here for the folks that are viewing from YouTube, so that you can go to that link tree that you see there that's scrolling across your screen. If you aren't, if you're listening on audio, you would go to Jalen's link tree is insert art name, all one word. So you would be able to find him on Instagram as well by the same name. So I'm going to share screen here of your portfolio and let you kind of walk us through what we're looking at.
Okay.
Mhm. All right. So where would you like for me to start? This first picture?
Yes.
Okay. And let me share my screen. Let me share that screen here. Make sure it's sharing. Add to stream.
Uh,
There we go.
okay. Cool. This is my Rihanna piece. It's made from different patterns and styles and words. Like along her nose are kind of like albums or lyrics that I really enjoyed. Um, and it's made with pen, just all pen.
Hmm.
The original was 18 by 24, I believe. It's somewhere in the corners of my room where I keep my art inventory.
Wow.
Um, this
Okay.
one is also really popular with people. People really love this one.
I have this one, and I'm gonna tell you something. So you just said that this is Rihanna. Let me tell you something.
Hmm.
I knew it, and I didn't. And I was like, that looks like Rihanna, but I didn't want to say that because and then I'd be wrong. So I
No, I'm
appreciate you for clarifying that for me because now I got to go back, and now I really got to go back and look at the piece that I purchased because you said that the words. Okay, see.
it's a great conversation starter with people who are kind of looking at it because they're like, "Is that Rihanna?" I'm like, "Yes," or people say another name, and I'm like, "No," but
Oh
and
wow.
this one was a digital piece I made during school.
Mm-hmm.
It was when I was getting into digital art. It's called Gold. But the L is in parentheses. So like you can read it another way as in God.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this one was inspired by a song that I listened to by the same had the same title. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
have to find the artist. I can't remember them right now, but it was a song I really enjoyed and I was listening to a lot during time. So I decided to make a piece of like kind of like this angelic being kind of very tall. And then in the
Mm-hmm.
bottom right, which is unfortunately cut off by my logo, it's just kind of like a silhouette of a person standing, kind of looking up to them.
Okay, I can kind of see it behind the J a little bit. I can see it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. We're gonna move on to number 3 here. All right.
Oh. This one was just I believe it was chalk. I'm trying to remember. It was during it was during my community college years and John Tyler. We kind of had an
Mm-hmm.
assignment to do just kind of like a landscape or like a still life piece. So I kind of went outside and we just sat in one area and this like there were stairs. I went down the stairs to the right in like the shadow area and I thought it was really nice. It was very shaded. And just kind of began to just make this piece.
You said chalk?
I believe it's chalk. I'm trying to remember what exactly it was. I can't remember it. um
Wow. Okay. And so as you guys can see, there's a lot here. Is there something else you want us to kind of highlight before we come off of this page?
the final image, the very last image, scroll down.
Okay. Oh,
Um
okay.
this one um this one is of my sister and my brother. um
Okay.
and I kind of made this piece just kind of just wanting I really like messing around with monochrome. I think it's just very fun to just have one color and kind of mess around with the
Mm-hmm.
shade of it. So I just kind of made this piece. It was during like a family reunion. And I just took this picture and then I went back to it and I was like, oh, I really like this. So I just started to paint it. um
Oh, that's cool. Okay. Okay. All right. Now let me ask you something. If people wanted to purchase from you, would they be able to purchase prints of any of these items?
yes, they're able to purchase any of these. I'm reopening my shop. I
Mm-hmm.
had a shop, but I took it down because I was applying for grad school. So I just wanted them to focus on just my portfolio and my about page, which has my resume and stuff. So I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to focus on that. So I took away my commissions page and my shop page, but I'm about to reopen it and have that back up.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, look. So now I want to point out a couple of things for the younger folks that are listening. Did you hear what he said? He took down the shop so that they could focus on his work, so he could get into grad school. I'm just talking to the people that love to chase the bag. Don't get me wrong, I like to chase the bag myself, but I can appreciate that. So I'm also going to put your Instagram here for those of you that are on Instagram. Jalen is on Instagram, and that's
Yes.
also where you can get the link tree. So if you didn't catch the link tree, as I previously mentioned, you can go to the Instagram page. It's at insert art name, all one word, and you'll be able to see his work there. You'll be able to connect with him via link tree, and anything you need to, as long as you keep it respectful, don't get in his inbox and get ignorant. So, okay. So you said grad school. So you are pursuing grad school, huh?
Yes, I'm pursuing grad school. I was applying to the brand center at VCU, which is like
Mm-hmm.
it's for people who want to do like art direction, copywriters,
Mm-hmm.
and I was applying to that. I unfortunately didn't get in, but I'm kind of revising my portfolio to strengthen it up a bit. They kind of told me what I needed. It was just more like they wanted to see more of my graphic design work, which I have a little bit of, but I'm trying to expand it a bit. So I'm expanding it by just taking commissions, making some work on the side. I've been making a lot of like designs and logos for just things to put on mock templates to just show that I can think about a piece not only in just the illustration sense, but as a marketing sense of putting it on different objects. So that's just kind of what I've been doing.
Okay, that's smart. That's smart. That's smart. Okay. So we had touched on how you got inspired. We've touched on sort of what your pursuits are for your future. How would you say the community that you have around you, your friends, external communities, like maybe people you work with, maybe professors, mentors, and even your family, sort of that intimate net community, how would you say that the communities that you have around you has shaped your journey as an artist?
I would say that bass has shaped me significantly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just the amount of art I've seen, the amount of things I've like tried in my work. Whether it be just like mixing illustrations with graphic design or just writing poetry, which I did for our gallery for Black Fidelity. Um, they've kind of encouraged me to just try new things, and even if it like feels like it doesn't work, I can just be like, okay, like how can I make this work though? Or like how can I make this something to learn from? Because whether I'm making a piece and it comes out good or not, I'm still learning something.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I mess up on the hand 20 times, I'm gonna get it right.
Mm-hmm.
um, as for my professors, they've encouraged me a lot. One of my professors, Morgan Sawyer, he was my concept design professor. He kind of encouraged me a lot. Um, there's also Kat, my professor named Kat Samples, who I had for my last semester, my senior year. That kind of helped me a lot because it was a lot of fantasy illustration, which I've been getting into more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm about to post some of the work I've made soon for that. Um, my professors all around, just having conversations with them has just pushed me. My mom seeing my artwork has kind of like encouraged me to kind of like just share it more.
Mm-hmm.
She's been to some of the base events, and she went to my gallery. And just her seeing my work has just kind of helped me overall. And
Okay.
even my like sisters too. My all my siblings have just been great, very encouraging.
That's good. That's good. Well, I do want to encourage you to keep going. I think you're doing
Thank you.
great. I think you're doing great. I think you're doing great. I know it can be a little pressure filled because, just the world we live in. It's the nature of the world we live in. So you kind of have
Right.
to create those little pockets of wind where you can escape all of that. So, as previously mentioned, everybody that wants to follow, you heard him, he's going to be posting new stuff. And so if you're one of those people that are anti-social media, do not get mad if you do not hear about the latest updates and you do not keep up, because you do have to tap in somewhere. So are you currently taking commissions at this time? I know you had mentioned that somewhat, but
Yes, I am. I'm taking about three. I'm allowing about my max is just three. I'm taking, and then people will have to just kind of be in a queue then. Um,
mhm.
but yes, I am taking commissions. I'm working on stuff. So
All right.
if you would like a commission, then just um either message me on Instagram, or if you're not like a social media person, you can just message me on email too. It's just insertartname@gmail.com. So if you would like to contact me there.
All right. Okay. Well, Jalen, thank you so much for being here today. I really, really, really appreciate it. I
Thank
wish
you.
you well in all of your future endeavors. I know you're going to absolutely do great. And again, if you want to connect with Jalen, please do. You do not want to miss out. You don't want to miss out on any of the artists that we are highlighting during this conversation series. And the reason why we have this conversation series is to introduce people to the world that otherwise, they may just be going about their day, doing their thing and affecting their local communities, but they have the reach to affect nations. And so, hey, you may be talking to Jalen today, post graduation, and then you'll look up in a couple of years and he'll be somebody of major notoriety. And you can say, I heard him on When Artists Speak or something like that. I followed him first on Instagram. So get in where you can fit in. So, Jalen, again, thank you so much for being here. And I hope to have you back again soon because I'm going to do sort of a part 2 of the series, as we see how this rolls out. And then I'll
Okay.
invite you back because I would love to just hear more. Like I said, you guys really are super inspiring. So tune in on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you are listening on any of the podcast platforms, the best thing you can do for a podcast is to leave a review. So please leave us a review, leave your comments, be respectful because I am not if you are not. And so we want to inspire each other together. Let's everybody be respectful. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you on the next episode of When Artists Speak.